Hey guys, so I think it's time we have the talk. And yes, I am talking about the safe sex and birth control talk, since so many of you seem to not know what the fuck that is. Alrighty, so let's start off with birth control, shall we? There's many different kinds of birth control. There's the oral contraceptive, NuvaRing, the patch, IUDs, the depot shot. There's a couple others that I can't just think of, but they all generally do the same thing. They either regulate your period so it comes once a month or eliminate it completely. It's supposed to balance your hormones. It's supposed to lower the symptoms of PMS. And it's supposed to prevent pregnancy. Now the thing is about all of these contraceptives, none of them are 100% safe, people. None of them. I think the most effective one is the pill, and that's if it's taken every day at the same time for 21 days at a time, and that only makes it 98.9% effective. So, if you're on a contraceptive, you should also be using another form of birth control in pair with it. Condoms. Now, I know. They're condoms. Guys will tell you, oh, it doesn't feel as good with it on, and people will be like, oh, they're just a hassle. Well, the thing is, if you're not trying to get pregnant, you should probably use a condom. The only time it is probably okay for you to not be using condoms is when you're in a committed, consensual relationship, or you and the person that you're with are both clean, you're both okay with it, it's been discussed beforehand. Now, all these contraceptives are expensive. If you've ever had to go buy a box of condoms, you know you're putting out like $25 for like 12 condoms, and it's like, what the fuck? Birth control is even more expensive. I know that the pill can range anywhere from $20 to $58 a month. IUDs cost upwards of like $500 depending how many years you're getting it put in for. The patch every month costs about $35. Like, they're not cheap. But the thing about contraceptives is that they're available at every public health clinic in Manitoba that I know of. So I see a lot of girls my age, a lot of girls younger than me, some women older than me, that are just getting pregnant all willy-nilly. And you know what? If you are prepared for that, if that is something you are ready for, if that is something you want, I'm 110% behind you. You have that baby, you raise that baby, you be the best parent you can be for that child. Now, if you're going out, sleeping with whoever, that doesn't matter either. What does matter is that you're using condoms and you're using some kind of birth control. Because there is nothing more unnecessary in this world than unwanted children and unwanted pregnancies. When we have methods of preventing them and terminating them. And I know that that's a tough subject to talk about for a lot of people, but the thing is that abortion is probably one of the most highly used forms of birth control, but it's not talked about, because once somebody's pregnant, if they terminate the pregnancy or they keep it going, that's not something that we usually talk about. When people get abortions, it's a very on the low topic, and the thing is that women shouldn't be made to feel ashamed for making that choice for themselves. Women shouldn't be made to feel ashamed because they got an abortion because they couldn't handle it, because they weren't prepared, because they didn't have the financial needs for it, or because of their health problems. That's something that we have a huge stigma around it. I'm not one for it. I'm pro-choice. If you need to get it done 8 times, that's your business. If you need to get it done once and it's because you were going to die, that's your business. It's nobody's real business. But the thing is that when we do talk about it, it always seems to end in fights, which I don't understand. Now, besides having safe sex and preventing pregnancy, there's another thing we should be worried about. STDs. Yes. STDs, just like every other illness you can treat, are just an illness. It's like having the cold and giving it to somebody, or having bronchitis and giving it to somebody. Except this time it's because you touched your genitals together and have exchanged some kind of fluid that has caused this to happen. Having STDs is seen as you being dirty, you being gross, but that's not the thing. Lots of people get STDs and don't even get symptoms. Like, one of my ex-boyfriends gave me chlamydia once. And he denied it up and down that it was him, blah, blah, blah. He went and got treated, but never actually got tested. But he was the only person I had slept with in like an 8-month span. So I know for a fact it was him. Now, the thing was is that when I confronted him about it, he told everybody that I had chlamydia. He told so many people I had it. But he didn't tell anybody where he got it from. Or, I guess not where he got it from, but where I got it from and how he gave it to me. He didn't tell anybody that. And that's because he knew that he was going to be seen as disgusting, as dirty. No girl was going to want to sleep with him. Just like no girl actually wants to sleep with you now, honey, but whatever. When you get an STD, it's super easy to treat. Sometimes you get symptoms, sometimes you don't. You go to the clinic, you pee in a cup, or you swab yourself, and you get some blood taken. They ship that off to the lab, and it comes back in, I think, 5 to 10 business days, and then you're either clean or you're not. If you're clean, whoop-de-doo, high five, you've practiced safe sex. If not, you have to get treated, and you have to talk to the doctor about who you've slept with, who may have given it to you, and who you may have given it to. The one thing that I do know is really difficult when it comes to STDs is that a lot of people look at them and think, ew, that's never gonna happen to me. Oh, I'm not gonna get that. Everybody I sleep with is clean. Okay, just because you're sleeping with one person, this one person could be sleeping with 2 other people. Those 2 other people could be sleeping with 5 other people. Once you start doing the math on that, you kind of realize, oh, it literally could be me. Half of every person that ever has sex will contract some form of STD in their life. Whether it be chlamydia, syphilis, things that are treatable like that, gonorrhea, things that only women can actually get, but males can carry but don't get symptoms for, such as yeast infections. They don't know if bacterial vaginosis is actually transferable from person to person, but if it is, if you haven't had sex with a boy, he goes and sleeps with somebody else, that other woman is going to contract it. There's other things that we all know, such as AIDS, HIV, genital herpes that aren't, well, their flare-ups are treatable, but they are something that you have for life. Those are the more serious ones that you really want to be careful for because they can be life-threatening. Now, along with safe sex comes safe practice of sex, which is things like how you're having sex, where you're having sex, who you're having sex with. Practicing safe sex means things like practicing consent, practicing using safe words if you're into things like BDSM or like hard sex, and things like making sure your partner is comfortable with everything you guys are doing together. Now, I know this is a hard relationship because for some reason, a lot of people struggle to talk about sex, and I don't know why. Like, once you hit grade 9, there's a good chance that most of the people you are friends with, or yourself included, aren't virgins anymore. That's just the day and age we live in. A lot of kids nowadays under the age of like 16 are having sex, which in my head is a weird concept, but then I think about it and I'm like, oh, been there, I understand. The thing is that I've noticed a lot in the past few years, a lot of younger girls still in high school are getting pregnant. And I don't understand that. Like, we are given, in Manitoba at least, we are given resources through the school to get birth control, to get condoms, to talk to counselors about things like that. Yet, girls still aren't going out of their way to do it. Like I said, if you get pregnant at a young age and you decide to keep it and raise that child, I 110% support you. I think that is amazing. I think that is so wonderful of you, and I wish you the best. But there's other girls your age and younger that are out there getting pregnant and they can't abort it. They aren't given the option to put it up for adoption, and they have to raise that child on their own with no financial support, no family support, no friend support, no support from the dad. And I feel like if we didn't have such a stigma around talking about sex, maybe these girls wouldn't be going out and feeling the need that they need to keep it, or feeling the need that they need to try and go out of their way to prove people wrong. Now I know in high school we're always told abstinence is the best form of birth control. But let's be real, people. If you're practicing abstinence, chances are that's your choice, or it's just not. Unfortunate, but true. If we're gonna talk about the really only safe form of sex with yourself, people. You can't get yourself pregnant. You can't give yourself an STD. So, I guess all I'm trying to say is, instead of being weird about it, instead of being uncomfortable when the topic is brought up, why don't we talk about it? Let's just be open about it. If you have questions and you want to talk to your friends about it, ask them. If you have things that you're not sure about, or things aren't feeling or looking right down there, go see a doctor. They're not judging you. Nobody thinks you're weird. And if you have people coming to you saying, oh, you're this, you're that, because you have questions about sex, or because you've had an STD, or because you are concerned about having sex, fuck them. It's not their fucking business. Who you're having sex with is your business only. When you're having sex is your business only. If the person you're sleeping with decides to go around and tell a bunch of people, it's not your fault, but maybe find somebody more mature to sleep with next time. That's all I have to say on that. So next time you want to go out, have some fun in between the sheets, friends, just please make sure you're doing it safely, because I don't like hearing about all this stuff that happens when girls and guys decide to be stupid about it. All right, everybody, have a happy Tuesday.